Our other top story tonight, the fallout from a Davenport officer shooting and killing a dog last week. Last night, emotions ran high at the city council meeting. The owner of the dog, Don Heseltine, addressed the city council at one point, as you just saw there, flipping the podium. The chambers were packed with people supporting the family, speaking out against the city's handling of the incident. The Davenport Police Department says the officer's actions were lawful, but the community believes he could have handled the situation differently. Maddie Fran spoke to an expert in law enforcement and a longtime dog trainer. Maddie, what did they tell you about what they saw in the video?
Hi, John. That law enforcement expert says the incident is tragic and a situation no officer wants to be in. But he says the Davenport officer fired those shots to protect himself and the people around him.
All these situations comes down to a level of reasonableness and what's reasonable for the officer. And then sometimes you have tragic events.
John Muller is a professor of criminal justice at Dordt University. He has more than 30 years of law enforcement experience.
Based on what I can see on a video, I think he's fully justified in what he did.
He says he's been in similar situations to the Davenport police officer who fatally shot a family dog last week.
I can tell you that pepper spray doesn't always work on a dog.
Not only are other tools unreliable on dogs, Muller says officers don't usually receive training on dealing with aggressive dogs. He says the officer had to make a split-second decision for the safety of himself and others around him.
When an animal is aggressively coming at him or anybody else for that matter, and he weighed all of his options, that this is the avenue that he needed to take.
David Van Landingen has a similar opinion. He's an instructor at Quad City Dog Obedience Club with more than 30 years of dog training experience.
That dog was going to bite that police officer.
He says the dog reacted to the officer's uniform, which was strange and unfamiliar to the dog.
Dog sees that as a threat. This is something new. And it's not only new, like that police officer, it's walking towards my house and my children.
Van Landingen says pepper spray would not prevent a determined dog from biting, but there are other ways to calm an aggressive dog.
Turn your back to the dog. Put your hands up on your chest and stand there. Dogs read body language, and that's a submissive position.
However, he knows police don't receive that training. He recommends police departments bring in an expert or ask their canine officer. Ultimately, Van Landingen says the best way to prevent situations like this is to keep your dog on a leash or behind a fence.
Dogs are no different than having a 3-year-old. Do you yet let your 3-year-old run around out in the street and stuff?
Van Landingen recommends dog owners desensitize their dogs to different people, environments, sounds, and textures. He also says basic obedience training is important for every dog. John?
All right, Maddie, thank you. And you can see the unedited police body camera video on our website, WQAD.com.